7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes on. Oh, great stop! And then he hammers it home. Broke his ankles.
Oh, gosh. The Knicks go on to lose in 5 in the first round of the playoffs to the Atlanta Hawks. Definitely does hurt to lose in this type of fashion. Especially because I thought the Knicks were going to bring more heart tonight. I thought they were going to fire on all cylinders more. I liked the start of the first quarter, but the second half was just the true story to see if this Knicks team actually got better. We're going to start off with the negatives first off, but I'm also going to put it into context. Julius Randle was not good in this series. His first series ever was not good. But I'm also going to put it into context. Totally different style of play this season. Was he shooting fadeaways? Was he shooting this many threes last season? No. So when you have a totally different style of play, the defense is going to play you different, which he learned in the regular season. So then the defense is going to change even more when it comes playoff time. So he will make adjustments, hopefully, and learn from this. If we go to the playoffs next year, we'll see if he keeps up a successful play in the regular season next year. But we just hope he makes adjustments when it comes to certain defensive coverages and certain defensive schemes by opposing coaches. We'll see what he goes on to do. But his first year with a brand new style of play, so that means adjusting to a bunch of different things. So we'll see if he goes on to adjust to that. But Julius Randle did not play well. You could say it was probably one of his best offensive games. At least when this was a basketball game. But what do you have? 8 or 9 turnovers? That's unacceptable. And if we really wanted to win this game, we needed no hesitation from Julius Randle. At the beginning of the game, he was very hesitant. Wide open shots that he took in the regular season, he was hesitating on. He eventually started to be less hesitant, but he wasn't smart with the basketball. You got to be more decisive with your decisions. We just did not play well. We just didn't. I really thought we're going to play with more fight. The rebounding. We knew we were going to struggle when it came to crashing the glass or rebounding the basketball in this series. They have a leading rebounder in the NBA of Clint Capella. But tonight, what I saw was unacceptable. We got to do a much better job of crashing the glass. No one was boxing out. It seemed like there was no effort of getting after it on the glass. And the Hawks are a really good basketball team. Yes, you could say at the time it looked like that was the best matchup. At the time, even Sixers fans, even Knicks fans, even though we knew the Sixers were going to have the first seed, not a lot of people wanted to play the Heat. A lot of people thought the Heat were going to be better than what they showed up against the Milwaukee Bucks because they have a killer mentality of players like a Jimmy Butler and a Bam Adebayo. We know Jimmy Butler's this dog. They have an experienced coach. They're a veteran basketball team that went to the finals. But the reality was that I was telling people when Knicks fans were very high when we went on this win streak, we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. By the way, great series. I know it wasn't a great series for Knicks fans, but Atlanta Hawks fans, they've been through a lot, just like Knicks fans, so you guys deserve this series. You guys played fair and square. You guys won fair and square this series. You guys moved the basketball, played much better defense than I thought. But the reality was when we beat a Nate McMillan run team, Trae Young went down. And before he went down, we were actually down 7 points. DeAndre Hunter coming back was definitely huge. But getting back to rebounding. Yeah, the rebounding was atrocious. You're just not going to win if you continue to give this team second chance opportunities. The bench was not good. Ever since game 1, Burks just hasn't been good when it comes to this playoff series. I'm not sure if it's because the second game, okay. I'm not expecting you to be great back-to-back nights, but the third game, Derrick Rose entered the starting lineup. The reality was there's a lot of pressure on Burks because quickly you can't always count on. Obi Toppin's played well, but you can't count on him every night. Taj Gibson, you can't expect much offensively. Same thing with the Nerlens Noel. So there probably was a lot of weight on his shoulders knowing damn, Derrick Rose, damn, that's so much dandruff on my freaking shoulders or lint or whatever. There's just so much weight on my shoulders or whatever. There's no Derrick Rose with me anymore. But the defense wasn't as good as I thought. It seemed like Thibs didn't make any adjustments. It seemed like he treated Julius Randle like Carmelo Anthony every single game. He was just you figure it out. They didn't run as much pick and roll as I really wanted them to really run. But now we're going to get into the reality of things. We overachieved this season. People thought we're going to win 21 games. And the Knicks said, F that, let's win 41 games. The Knicks, I know this is a tough loss, But in reality, the Hawks are they're a more talented basketball team. Look, you could take a look at their starting five, and most likely that same starting five is going to be their starting five for the next 5 years. When you really think about it, Trae Young, Bogdanovich, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, if they bring him back on a contract, he played better in the playoffs than I thought. Clint Capella. Now you take a look at the New York Knicks, their starting lineup most of the season. You could even throw Derrick Rose in there, and you could say he's not going to be there long term when it comes to the starting point guard position. But yeah, Alfred Payne, not going to be here long term. Most likely RJ is. Will Bullock be here long term? Maybe, maybe not, but not as a starter, maybe. Julius Randle, we'll see what goes on to happen. We just hope he learns from this. And Nerlens Noel / Taj Gibson. Noel ended up being the starting center when Mitchell Robinson went down. But the Knicks overachieved. They won 42 games, went on a huge win streak. And we proved that we have a winning culture. We have 2 first-round draft picks. We'll see if we trade up. It's not like the NFL. The value isn't like as good. Like you can't just trade those 2 picks and you're going to automatically have like the 5th overall pick. But we proved to build a winning culture. Maybe we have stability at the head coaching position. It sucked losing Mike Woodson as one of the assistant coaches, but I like Kenny Payne. I like Johnny Bryant. I like Greer. I like our coaching staff. And we have cap space. Back when we were winning games, which was like 8 years ago, there was no longevity. We had older players, expiring contracts, like about to be expiring contracts, didn't have cap space. All the money, Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony. There was just no longevity when it came to that team at all. So we'll see if we attract anyone with a winning culture, but it really does suck. Has like the sour taste in your mouth like after this loss. I just thought they were going to come out hungrier. But yeah, RJ, you could say, wasn't the greatest, but he's 20 years old. That's the reality also. We had a 20-year-old in the playoffs. That's great experience. That is great experience. He's going to learn every day from that. And of course, his father played for the Canadians and he played professionally, so he could definitely learn from his father and things like that. But what I learned also is Taj is no slouch. He might be a part of like some coaching staff in the future or maybe a trainer with the Knicks. He might retire because he's 35, 36 years old. Peyton's gone. We learned that. RJ might be here long term or he will be here long term. He's 20 years old. Randall, we'll see what goes on to happen. I think he will. Of course, he's going to be here the next season, but I'm not giving him a max. He's going to have to prove himself next season. You pick up his team option, and then you make that decision if we go to the playoffs. Because defenses are going to adjust. That's the main thing. Are you that good? Can you overcome the adversity of defenses adjusting? But Knicks fans were moving in the right direction. Very tough loss, but Trae Young, really freaking good. I know he talks a lot of crap, but he deserves to talk crap. He's a damn good player. Bogdanovich, damn good player. He really killed us this series, and it looks like we have a brand new Knicks killer. It looked like of course my microphone goes on to die, but it is what it is. As of course the New York Knicks did not come out victorious. I believe I was saying this. It sucks now we have to play Bogdanovich like 4 times a year. He's a great shooter from beyond the arc, from mid-range territory, a much improved defensive player. He's like 28 years old. Like he was actually a rookie like a couple years ago, but he got drafted and then went back overseas and then came to the NBA because some players do that. Like you just end up having the rights to that player. But yeah, he's been amazing for them, and it looks like they have a good young core moving forward. Like I said, Trae Young deserves a trash talk. Great player. They have their coach moving forward of Nate McMillan. I know he's probably not going to be a candidate like for coach of the year, but he's done a hell of a job. That team was like at one point, oh no, I'm thinking of the Wizards. I was going to say 13 games under 500, but they were a lot of games under 500 at one point. The Hawks not really living up to expectations, but at the end of the day, they have more talent. We have draft capital. We have 2 first-round draft picks. We'll see if we trade up. It's not like the NFL. I probably said that already, but my microphone died. But we'll see if we end up getting anyone a couple years in free agency, but I do think we're moving in the right direction. We've always wanted improvement, and we finally got it. We'll see if Thibs is the guy moving forward. I think he is. And we'll see what goes on to happen with the Randall situation and if RJ goes on to improve even more. I just can't believe the season's over. That's insane to me. Thank you guys so much for the great amount of support. I probably forgot what I was going to say because I had the perfect video, but my microphone decided to die, of course. But as always, guys, have a humble day or night. Peace out, y'all.